Hello everyone and welcome to the channel where we're playing Gen 6 when Gen 9 is right around the corner. Why? Because Gen 69. Alright, cringe aside. I've always really enjoyed these post-game battle modes, and I'm finally old enough and good enough to understand how it works. So I just want to share my team for the Super Double Battle, and let's just get right into it. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, the Super Double Battle champion uses all the legendary dogs plus a Latios. And something else you need to know is all of these guys have access to Protect. It doesn't really matter that much in the long run, but there is one turn where that matters. And also, if you didn't know, the order in which abilities are activating here gives you an idea of how fast the Pokemon are in relation to each other, so there's that. So I swap out Landorus because I know that her Suicune has access to ice moves, and I really don't want to lose my Landorus right now. Tyranitar is taking some big damage, but that's okay. He's a tanky boy. Go for the Rock Slide here, mainly just to get some damage on both of these Pokemon, and also because I don't have much for Entei, and it's definitely the stronger attacker right now. That's why I want to get rid of that. And now that Suicune has protected, I know it is going to be wide open next turn. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to protect my Tyranitar because it's taking some big damage, but I really need it. And we're going to have Bronzong set up the Trick Room. Now, this is by no means a Trick Room team, but it is a very useful form of speed control for somewhat slower Pokemon. So now Entei is going to protect, but I know the Suicune is wide open, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for Zen Headbutt in case Entei didn't protect. I'm going to go ahead and Thunder Punch that Suicune because it is by far the most threatening Pokemon she has for my team. And plus, with Entei being almost dead, it's not that big of a threat anymore. So she sends out the Raikou, which is extra annoying because it has an Air Balloon. I don't really care about the Protect because I think here I just go for a Rock Slide. And since I know this Rock Slide is going to knock out Entei, that's why I wanted to try to Zen Headbutt Raikou so I can at least get the Air Balloon popped. That way if I can get Landorus back in, I can Earthquake it and probably one-shot it. Finally, we have the Latios. I'm not too worried about it, even though Latios is a really strong Pokemon. But the nice thing about Trick Room is there's two chances for Latios to flinch. Unfortunately, we don't get it, but it's okay. Not too worried about the Calm Mind because my team is mostly physical attackers aside from one of them, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And Tyranitar getting that extra special defense off the Sandstorm, really coming in clutch there. And just getting the last little bit of spread damage, taking down that Latios. Now, as you can see, Raikou is on a literal pixel of health, so I'm not too worried about Tyranitar going down here, especially since it has an uphill battle to climb against my other Pokemon. And even though Trick Room is up, and Raikou is faster than my other Pokemon, I don't really care because all I have to do at this point is attack it. And as you can see on the bottom screen there, it does not matter what Raikou does this turn. It doesn't have any spread moves. It can't knock out either of my Pokemon. All I got to do is just hit it and we're done. Alright. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, she's going to try harder and not win next time. So, that takes care of the battle. Now, let's talk about the team. So the way that I climbed with this team is a little bit different than how I used it in battle. I'm going to talk about the battle first. So I start with Tyranitar and Landorus mainly because that gives me my best options available against the majority of her team. So Tyranitar, as you can see here, is pretty straightforward. We got Stab, Rock Slide, we've got the physical Bolt Beam combo of Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, and we've got Protect just in case he's next to Landorus and I don't want to kill my own Pokemon. Tyranitar is basically here to set up the sand and knock anything out of the sky that can't be hit by Earthquake. Now, for battle number 50, I ran a Pasho Berry because of Suicune's water attacks. But on the climb up, I did Choppleberry just because of its 4 times weakness to fighting. That coupled with the fact that most fighting types are physical attackers and having access to Intimidate with Landorus basically almost guarantees Tyranitar survives even the strongest fighting type attacks with some few exceptions or of course crits. Landorus T, everybody knows how good this Pokemon is by now. I'm using it because it's so good. Pretty straightforward. We've got Stab, Earthquake, we've got Rock Slide to hit flying types. Knockoff is actually an interesting move. I did not realize how good this move is in Gen 6. I know it got buffed, I just never really cared for it. But that is honestly a great move to secure some just good neutral damage, and if something is weak against it, it's pretty much guaranteed dead. So that's a good option to go for if you need to swap in Tyranitar and you don't want to send it into an Earthquake. And U-turn, I didn't really use much, but it is useful for the pivoting option. Now, as you can see, Landorus had a Yache Berry for that battle because Suicune runs Blizzard, but on the way up, I actually ran Assault Vest because if you have an Intimidate user plus Assault Vest, they actually become pretty bulky even with minimal investment. Now, the actual star of this team that did not get a chance to play in battle number 50 is Mega Charizard Y. This is actually the Pokemon I originally built this team around, and on the climb up, I actually led with Charizard and Landorus every single game. Charizard I've modified quite a bit on my runs through the Battle Maison. I've tried Flamethrower, I've tried Heat Wave. I didn't always run Dragon Pulse, but I put that on just so Charizard doesn't get walled by other fire types, and so I have an extra option against dragon types. And Protect is Protect, Solar Beam, they're both pretty self-explanatory. Charizard Y sets up the sun, and Protect is to keep it safe and to scout Rock-type moves. If you see a Rock-type move, you either need to take out the threat or get Charizard out of there. And then finally, we have Bronzong. In all honesty, I really don't like this Pokemon. I think it's ugly, it's just sits there, doesn't do much. Not my style of Pokemon, but for this team, its utility is invaluable. It's resistant to ice, so it's a good pivot for Landorus. It's immune to Earthquake, it's immune to sand, and it covers Tyranitar's weaknesses to Fairy and Fighting. So it just filled in all the gaps I needed for my 4th Pokemon. Now, again, on the way up, I ran Mental Herb on it because Bronzong's main purpose is to be a Trick Room setter if I need the speed control in my favor. I just ran Leftovers in Battle 50 because nothing has access to Taunt. But otherwise, I definitely recommend Mental Herb because if Bronzong gets taunted, you've got a serious problem. Now, Iron Head, Zen Headbutt, that's just for stab purposes. I know a lot of people really like Gyro Ball on Bronzong, but considering the speed tiers of your opponents can fluctuate so much, Gyro Ball is just too inconsistent to be reliable. And then the last thing is Skill Swap. This is actually a tactic I adopted after watching some 2016 VGC. Basically, Skill Swap, it's kind of niche, but you can do some cool stuff like reset your weather, or you can swap it onto Landorus to get an extra Intimidate. It's, like I said, it's niche, but it's pretty cool. And aside from that, that is the team. Don't mind my hand there. And in case you were wondering how well this team served me, my best record with this team was 87 straight wins. So, not bad. Thanks for watching.